and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about mindset. Now, I know I've been yapping on about this quite a bit and I've been talking about it a lot on my Instagram page, but it is mainly because I am reading this book, which is Mindset by Carol Dweck. Now, I think you can see like I'm halfway-ish through. I may have been really naughty and skipped a chapter. Well, I was halfway through the chapter about sport, and I really don't enjoy sport. I don't like reading about it. I don't know any of these people to be able to appreciate their mindsets. So like I kept putting the book off and off and off and off, and I was like, okay, if I'm not going to read this chapter and I keep putting it off, why don't I just skip this chapter and go on to the next one and maybe go back to it at the end if I feel like I need to. So I'm halfway through it now. I have skipped a little bit of it, which is really naughty, but it made me want to speak more about mindset, because I'm reading a lot about mindset, but I'm like, okay, how do I actually change my mindset, and how can I teach others to change their mindset? How can I actually action it rather than just yapping on about it? So today I will be joining with a cup of tea, but it's not English breakfast. It is lemon and ginger, because I'm trying to cut down on milk, because I'm scared that we're going to run out, and because of COVID-19 we're doing weekly deliveries from Asda's, so I don't want to run out of milk because I love tea so much. So I'm going to try and drink lemon and ginger throughout the day, because we've got 3 boxes of it, and just like English breakfast when I'm really like desperate for one, rather than just when I want one. Okay, this is all about sort of getting to understand your mindset, getting confident that you understand the way you think, so that you can action those and just start changing the way you're thinking. So like, for example, sometimes if you're just acting out, say you're having an argument, for example, and you're not aware of the type of person you are, you're not very self-aware, you're not sure what your trigger points are, you might just keep arguing and arguing and arguing. But if you learn about yourself and think, okay, this is what triggers me, for example, partner being untidy is what triggers me. If you're aware of that, every time you see something that's triggering you to go a bit crazy, you can go, okay, I read about this earlier, I need to just swallow, breathe and think, okay, I'm not going to shout at them for this, I'm just going to ignore it. Whereas if you're not aware of yourself, you will just go, what the hell are these socks doing on my blah? Which is like what I used to be like. Well, sometimes I still am, but I'm aware of it, and I'm like, okay, that's my trigger point, I need to sort of stop being like this. So there's an almond-shaped part of the brain called the amygdala, which is responsible for that fight or flight response. So it was there from the beginning of time to sort of keep us safe when we were cavemen, for example. So if we felt some danger, then we would react on that. And although we do need it in the modern world now for some things, not for everything. And that's why I think lots of people are suffering with anxiety, because we've still got this fight or flight response, but we're not actually in that much danger. Like, it's not our life or death situation. So yeah, we're using these flight or fight scenarios for things that aren't really that big of a deal. You know, like socks on the floor, where compared to like being killed by a bear, they don't really compare. So when we're in these uncomfortable situations, it releases a hormone in your brain, which is a stress hormone, which makes us stressed and anxious. And then that's what brings out the inner critic in us that thinks, okay, I can't do that. No, 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 no. For example, if you're not very good at maths, and someone goes, right, in order to have this job, say, okay, say you're going for an interview, and it's an interview for something that's not math-based, and then they whip out a maths test and say, okay, in the interview process you need to do a maths test, and you're not very good at maths, so that is instantly fight or flight. Like, I know if that was me in that situation, I go, oh, sod the job, I'm not doing it. No, that's when our inner critic comes out and says, I can't do it, no, 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 no. Whereas if it was something a little bit more comfortable, if they said something like, draw up an Instagram post, then I'd be able to do it and then it wouldn't be too bad. But if it's something that you're not comfortable with, then it releases that stress hormone, and then that's when you start to feel stressed and anxious. So how can we manage this response and change our mindset so that it benefits us better? Well, I've got 6 points down here, which I think could be beneficial to you while you're trying to change your mindset. And that is what I've sort of already touched upon, and that is to develop an awareness of your thoughts. So a lot of people don't really think about their thoughts. They're just going round and round and whatever, and your actions just happen, and you don't actually stop and think, okay, why did I just say that? And why did I just react like that? Why did I cause an argument there? What did I do? What was I thinking? So it is often, I used to work in a industrial, heavy manufacturing industry, and I was so hot-headed there, and I read The Chimp Paradox by Professor Stephen Peters, and I think that's his name. And I realised that I'm really hot-headed and I don't react in stressful situations very well, like to other people. So I remember I was arguing with this guy, and I just read the book. So I used to argue with this guy all the time and never thought anything of it. And then I read the book and then I argued with him, and then I came back from that situation and I was thinking, why do I react like that? Why? But I was aware of it. I didn't know why, still really don't. But I was aware that it was happening. I was aware that I was hot-headed, and I specifically would argue with this one guy. Why? And now I was becoming very aware that I was very hot-headed. So that was step 1. So once you're sort of aware of your thoughts, that's when you need to start doing point. And that is recognising these thoughts and swapping them out for different thoughts. So say, for example, socks on the floor really annoy you, because they really annoy me. Instead of looking at them and immediately shouting about it, you look at them and think, okay, I've recognised that this really annoys me. Now I need to step back, I need to pick up the socks, put them in the wash and shut up. See how much difference that could make to whether if I picked them up, I threw them over, I said, these need to be in the wash. And that could cause an argument. Now that's just putting more stress on you, more social discomfort, whereas if you just knew about your thoughts, you could pick up those socks and put them in the wash, and that would be it. See the 2 different scenarios? Pick them up and have an argument, pick them up and put them in the wash. These things are so minimal, they don't really need to cause an argument. If it was someone tried to kill you in the street, and then you start panicking, and then next time you go out, you know, you do see another guy in the street with a knife and you start panicking, that's okay, obviously. Because that's fight or flight in a real situation that is what the brain is designed for, whereas the socks thing isn't really that much of a big deal. So my next point is to stop catastrophizing things. So I think this is very common in today's day and age when we don't really have that many things to worry about. So the smallest of things feel like the weight of the world are on our shoulders. For example, you've run out of makeup for the day and you catastrophize it. I can't go out, oh my god, I've never been out without makeup on, I can't go out, oh my god, what if people see me? It's just catastrophizing things that don't need to be a catastrophe, basically. Just go, okay, I've run out of makeup, I'm going to quickly dash to Asda's and quickly dash back in a calm and collective manner rather than catastrophizing. Okay, my 4th point is, what advice would you give your friend? So a good thing to do here is to write out a question that's you. So your question, so why am I so rubbish? Why can't I do work? Why am I procrastinating all the time? Write that down and write your friend's name on top of it, as if that they were asking that question. And then you'd say, but obviously about you, then you'd say, you know, you wouldn't go to them, oh yeah, you are rubbish. You go, you're not rubbish, you're just having a bad day. And then talk to yourself as if you're talking to a friend, because we're very, very quick to run ourselves down and make negative judgments of ourselves in our head, when really, you know, it's not fair. that we're doing that, because you would never speak to a friend like you speak to yourself. Another one is my 5th point, and that is to examine all the evidence that you have before making a judgment. So a lot of the time we jump to conclusions, and jumping to conclusions is obviously part of the flight or fight response as well. And if you just sit down and take a moment to reflect on any evidence that you have before you start to make a case, that can help you a lot and save a lot of arguments. Make sure that you are looking at all the evidence before you start making a response. And yeah, this goes for business as well, obviously. Look at all the evidence that you've got before making a judgment. And then my last point is to balance your expectations with the truth, basically. So sometimes we raise our expectations so high that we can get disappointed quite easily. So for example, if you got super excited for a new job and you're like, this is going to be amazing, I'm going to have all these opportunities, I can't wait, and then you get there and none of those things are true, then you're going to be left disappointed. But if you went into that job with lower expectations, then everything is a plus. And this comes a lot when dealing with friends and people that you know. Sometimes people expect too much from other people, and then that's when things start going downhill, because you're like, well, I got her a birthday present, I got her a card, I got this, I got that. She didn't get me any of those things, for example. But if you were thinking, oh, do you know what, I just appreciate her as my friend, she hasn't got me anything, maybe she's got money worries, doesn't really matter, then when she does get you something, you are pleasantly surprised. So you can sort of see where lowering your expectations of everything and everybody can help you be happier. Now, I'm sorry this is a bit of a long video. I kind of just wanted to go through all the points and sort of shape what it's all about. And yeah, good luck with your mindsets. I'm not going to recommend this book yet because I'm not seeing any super transformations, but I have got a chunk left and I think they're all the good chapters, so I will let you know. And I'm going to do a whole YouTube video on the mindset book. I'm also started a podcast, so if you're interested to listen to that, then let me know in the comments.